Once upon a time, in a lost world, there lived an ogre. And during the day, his normal day routine was to get up, go out to use the bathroom, and his porta potty. He walks across the sand, stepping on something, and it said, "Ouch!" He looked down, it was a snail. He said, "Sorry, snail." The snail said, "Watch where you're going next time." So he kept walking to the porta potty. Opened the porta potty door. There were a snake. A snake said, "Oh, good morning, Shrek." And he said, "Good morning to you too." And I get out my party. Then he sat on the toilet. As he sat on the toilet, he always reads his favorite newspapers that comes by through the wind. He reads those and he sees what's going on at the kingdom. Headline says, all fairy tale creatures must leave. All fairy tale creatures must leave the kingdom. From Lord Farquaad. Lord Farquaad is the newest king in the kingdom. And he is very rude and mean and disgusting. And imagine, he is very short. Okay, as Shrek reads that's what's the ogre name, Shrek. As he reads the newspaper, he gets very upset to see that all the fairy tale creatures out there are getting kicked out of their kingdom. Somewhere that they was born in and lived in their entire life. He was so angry, he got up, he slammed the toilet, nearly broke the seat, slammed the door behind him, marched right back to his room, right back to his house, went to his room, and just laid there angrily. Later, he got over the anger when a cute little bug says, "Good morning, it's fresh fish out there today." It was a cute bug that said that. So he got up and went to his swamp. His swamp is right in front of his house. And he went fishing. But it wasn't regular fishing. Instead of throwing a rod and reeling it in, he just stands in the swamp and he just looks down and grabs whatever fish he sees. And he did that numerous of times. He caught at least 5 fishes. He took all 5 fishes home, which is not far at all. And as he walked home, he drops one of them. And then the fish start flapping, and the fish says, "Oh, they're coming, they're coming." And Shrek picked it up and said, "Who?" And then the fish says, "They're coming, they're coming." And then the fish stopped breathing. He's dead. Shrek puts all the fish, even the talking, over the fire. And as he put it over the fire, he rolls it, because he puts them on a stick. He rolls it on the fire and he cooks it. He also made soup in the house. And the soup consists of the eyes of the fish teeth, the fish scale, like the skin, some water. He made soup, he stirred up the eyes, the teeth, and the scales of the fish. And he cooked the fish himself on the stick outside. And after it was done, he served it on a platter for himself, since he only lived by himself. And he eats it at night while watching the fireplace, because he still had the fire going. Meanwhile, as he tried to pick up his first fork without this annoying bug coming around and saying, "Watch out, Shrek, they're here, they're here, they're here," while he was trying to eat, boom, a mob came through. A mob came through his swamp to find somewhere to sleep. And the mob ended up setting up tents on his land, porta potties on his land, pillows, blankets, beds, and they all camped out in front of his lawn. Shrek looked outside and he seen all these people all these characters and flying fairies and gingerbread men and Humpty Dumpty cats, all of them. He went outside and he roared. He roared so loud that it blew all of their tents to the ground. And then everybody stopped dancing. They stopped talking. Everything got quiet. And he walks to the middle. Boom, boom, boom. And he says to everyone, I don't know why you guys are here, but this is my swamp. And nobody can be in my swamp. And one brave little fairy tale creature says, well, where are we supposed to go? Because Lord Farquaad kicked us out. Shrek says, what? You guys need to go back and get your place back. And the gingerbread said again, we're scared of Lord Farquaad. He has all these armies and he's very mean. And he started crying so bad. And then a little bug bee came around and whispered in Shrek's ear, said, he's only sure we can take him. And Shrek starts to think, Then he yells out, I will, as Shrek, go to Lord Farquaad and demand your place back. And all the fairy tale creatures, the fairies, the tooth fairies, the gingerbread man, the Humpty Dumpty, the cats, they all started clapping and hurraying. And then somebody suggested to come with him. He says, I will come with you. I know the ins and outs of that place. It was a cat with a hat. And he had a sword on his hip. He wore boots, and his name was Puss in Boots. Then another person said, yeah, I come too. And he was on 4 legs. He was a donkey. It was donkey. And Shrek says, all right, I guess you guys can come. Meanwhile, as they traveled to Lord Farquaad, which was a very, very long travel, during the travel, they walked across a river. They had to walk across the log. Shrek almost fell, but Puss in Boots was there to save him. They walked through a big open field that had leaves and trees and different flowers, orchids, roses, and different bugs that was talking to Shrek. Like a wasp had came about and talked to him and said, where are you guys going? And Shrek said, mind your business. And the wasp kept saying, I'll tell you what's up ahead if you tell me where you're going. And Shrek said, well, I'm going to Lord Farquaad. And the wasp said, oh, you better be careful. I think I seen an army up there earlier. And then he stopped. He said, let's take a break, you guys, Donkey and Puss in Boots. And it was like, okay. Donkey was trying to get an apple from a tree while they was taking a break. And Donkey came across a snake at the tree. As he was trying to grab the big red apple with his one little hook, it was so short, a snake came hissing down. And the snake said, you can't eat this apple. You're gonna die if you eat this. Donkey said, no, I'm not. Give me the apple. And the snake ended up saying, okay, you don't listen to me, so I guess you're going to see how you're going to die. And Donkey said, I don't know what you're talking about, mocking the snake because of his hiss. I don't know what you're talking about. Just give me the apple. And then Donkey still tried to reach it with his short arm over the high grass, but he couldn't. So Puss in Boots came around, because he's a cat. He's very smaller than the donkey, and he ends up climbing up the tree and knocking the apple down so Donkey can get it. Donkey didn't even pick it up with his hands. He picked it up with his mouth. And then the snake, he says, "You're going to regret it." And Donkey said, "Oh, be quiet, mind your business." He ate the apple and he said it was so delicious. And he finished it all up in 3 bites. And Puss in Boots said, "Wow, you must have been hungry." And Donkey says, "No, I really wasn't. I just wanted to mess with that snake." And then 3 minutes went by, and Shrek says, "Come on, we gotta go before the sun gets down. We gotta find some shelter. We can't be sleeping out in the open." And then they all follow Shrek. Shrek ended up coming across this beautiful, beautiful lodge. On that lodge, it had a nice fireplace. There was a little pond that had fishes, alligators, and then ducks, all at the pond. And then inside the little cottage, it was so big it had 2 floors, but it was dark inside when they entered. They had stepped on another snail. The snail said, "Ouch, that hurts." Shrek said, "Oops, sorry." And then he kept walking in slowly, 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 because it was so dark. They couldn't see anything at all. It was dark. It was nighttime. It was getting cold. And all they wanted to do was find a light switch. And they was walking in very slow, very slow. The next thing you know, they heard a noise. It wasn't from them at all, because they started looking at each other. They could see each other bright eyes in the dark. And I was like, Shrek kept walking slow and slow. Then they heard the noise again. Then they looked up. It was a little tiny light upstairs. So they followed the light. They went up the stairs. The stairs were it was creaking. They went up closer. And then they opened the door. And they peeked around the corner. And they seen a girl. And she was very beautiful. She was putting on her makeup. She was powdering herself. She was using different color lipstick, different eye color. She put on some perfume. She smelled herself. Shrek he did a big sniff. He said, and he smelled he said it smelled like roses. It smells so good. Then next thing you know, Shrek took the big sniff. The girl, she turned into a green monster. Her clothes ripped. She got bigger. Her tiara fell. Her nose got bigger. Her ears got longer. And her whole body turned green. Just like Shrek. And Shrek was confused. He was like, she was just a girl. To Puss in Boots. And Puss in Boots said, "Yeah, I seen it too. I don't know what happened." And then the girl heard them talking. And she hurried up and jumped. And when she jumped, she fell right through the hole. And she made a big hole on the floor. And then if you go downstairs, she made a big hole in the ceiling. And she fell through. She said, "Ouch, that hurt so bad." And Shrek, Puss in Boots, and Donkey, they ran downstairs so fast. And they said to her, Donkey said, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" And started helping her by pushing his head under her. And Puss in Boots said, "Are you okay, Miss Lady?" And start patting her face and say, "You looked very beautiful." And then that's when she finally got up with the help of Shrek. Shrek handed out his hand and said, "Do you need help?" And she grabbed his hand and she got up. And then she says, what are you guys doing here? You startled me. I didn't know if you was the knights that's coming after me. And then Puss in Boots said, so the knights are looking for you? And she said, yes, because I ran away from the kingdom. And then Shrek said, who are you? And why did you change to look like me? The girl ended up saying, sadly, my name is Princess Fiona. And I turned into an ogre because I was cast a spell. I'm running from the knights because I don't want to marry Lord Farquaad. And Shrek said, ouch, I'm sorry that happened to you. But the reason why we're here is because it got dark and we needed some place to sleep. See, we're on a mission to go to Lord Farquaad because he dumped all these fairies on my yard. Back that way. And Fiona said, I'm sorry to hear that. But you guys are more than welcome to sleep here with me tonight. And Shrek says, thank you, and I'm so sorry for what's happening to you. As they all prepare for bed, Shrek cooked his favorite meal, his fish, and his fish soup with the eyes, the teeth, and the fish skin. He cooked that, and right when they was about to eat, he heard people talking, people chanting, hurrah, hurrah, fee, fi, fo, fo, hurrah, hurrah, and marching. Soon as he was about to pick up the fish and bite, he had to put it down and hide because it was the knights coming. The knights came through and they all hid in the bushes in the woods and watched them walk past as they chant, hurrah, hurrah, fee, fi, fo, fo, hurrah, hurrah. So they walked past, and at the end of the army, there was a man on a horse, and it looked like Lord Farquaad. Shrek seen that, and he said, where is he going? He's supposed to be at the kingdom, not going that way. And then Donkey said, maybe he's going to the swamp to see about the fairy creatures. And Shrek said, you're right. And then he said, in the morning, we have to beat them to his castle. After the knights left and Lord Farquaad left, they all packed up the food and went inside the cottage. They made a little bed. The cat, Puss in Boots, didn't need any blankets nor Donkey. Puss in Boots slept under the ogre. And Shrek slept with he found a sack of potato sack, and he emptied the potato. He made a cover for himself by putting himself inside the sack, tying it at the top of his neck. Then he made a pillow by using a box, a crate. And he slept there with Puss in Boots right there on his side and Donkey on his other side. And Fiona slept upstairs. She also used a sack of potatoes to sleep on. When the morning rises and the sun comes up, the birds are chirping and flying around. And the wind is going, brushing the grass on the floor and swinging the trees around, dancing. Shrek, Fiona, Puss in Boots, and Donkey all woke up. And their mission was to beat Lord Farquaad to the castle, because they seen them last night. After the night was over with, they all woke up at the same time to a sound of a horn. And they all was chanting, hurrah, hurrah. The ants are on the marching in, hurrah, hurrah. That song. And they went outside, and Fiona went outside first. Yeah, she went outside first, and she changed back to normal. She went back to normal because of the sun. It changed her. So then they seen Lord Farquaad, Shrek, Donkey, and Puss in Boots, and Fiona. They all seen Lord Farquaad outside. He's the one that blew the horn. And Lord Farquaad says, "Oh, my love, I found you. Take me down from this horse." They took him down from the horse. He walked to Fiona, and he grabbed her hand to her because, you know, he's short. And he says, "My lady, why did you run off from me? I was missing you. I'm glad I found you." And Fiona says, "Get off of me. You don't miss me." And he said, "My love, I do. Please come with me back." And then Fiona said, "No, I'm not." And Lord Farquaad said, "I demand you to come back or I will put you in my dungeon. I am king, well, soon to be king." And so she did. She said, "Bye, Shrek." And Shrek was so mad because he wanted to save her at that moment when he found out that she was the princess and that she was running away from Lord Farquaad. So what Shrek did, he stormed back to his swamp. And Puss in Boots and Donkey followed him. And when they got back to the swamp, all the fairy creatures was like, "Okay, is it safe for us to go back home? Is it safe? Can we go back home? Shrek, what did you do? Did you do what you said you was going to do?" And Shrek just said, "No, leave me alone." He slammed the door on them, went to his room, and laid down. Moments later, that little fly that always come talk to him came to his room through the cracks of his door, came to his room and whispered in his ear while he was asleep, "Hey, buddy, it's not over yet. You can still help them." So as he heard that, he woke up and told himself, "You're right. I have to get these people off my lawn because this is my swamp and this is irritating me." So he went to go get them. He went out to his lawn and he said to the people, "Hey, everybody, pack your stuff. We are going to the castle." Everybody start haranguing. Donkey and Puss in Boots was like, "What changed your mind?" Shrek said, "Let's just go. I got a plan." They all arrive at the castle a couple hours later. Donkey said, "Wait, there's a certain line you have to wait for before you barge in." They was outside the doors of the wedding. Donkey said, "There's a certain line." Donkey says, "You have to wait for the line that said something, 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 do anyone object?" And that's when you come in and say, "I object." Shrek says, "Okay, let me know." Throwing Donkey up and down the window, saying, "Did you see it yet? Did you see it yet? Catch him, throw him back up, catch him, throwing him back up." And Donkey said, "Finally, he said it." And then Shrek didn't even catch Donkey the last time and ran into the wedding. He ran into the wedding and said, "I object." All the fairy creatures followed him, as well as Puss in Boots and Donkey. And Lord Farquaad said, "What? Come on, you gotta be kidding me. We was just about to kiss." And then the priest said, "Well, they said I object. They have the right to say why." And Shrek says to Fiona, "Why are you marrying him? You don't even love him at all. I thought we had a real connection. I thought we were in love, and that you love me." Lord Farquaad said, "Oh, please." And then he made a joke out of Shrek. Lord Farquaad says, "The ogre has feelings." And then he made the whole church laugh at him to make him feel bad. But nobody thought it was funny. Fiona then says, "I have to do what I have to do. I don't want to be thrown in a dungeon." And Lord Farquaad said, "That's right, honey. We're going to be king and queen." And Shrek just said, "No." And then suddenly a bright shine of light came through the church and it shined on Fiona. And when that bright light shined on Fiona, Fiona turned into an ogre. She turned green. Her ears started to get big again. Her skin was green. Her nose started to get big. Her clothes started to tear off of her. Her tiara got off her head. And she was floating and changing into an ogre. And when she was done, she landed back on the ground. And Lord Farquaad said, "Oh my goodness, you are ogre too? Ew, disgusting." And he made the whole church say, "Ew, disgusting." And making Fiona feel bad. And Lord Farquaad got very upset. He said, "I'm not marrying you, but I'ma still be king." And he took the crown from the priest and put it on his head. And chaos started happening. Fairy creatures started fighting. The villagers started running around. The priest even was scared of Fiona and Shrek because they were both ogres. And everybody started swarming, even the army. Then after a couple minutes, they took Lord Farquaad away for his rude comments that he made towards Shrek and Fiona. The fairy creatures took him. Then the priest calmed down, and the priest had asked if Fiona and Shrek want to get married. And Shrek said yes. Fiona said yes. They both got married. Then Donkey whistled. A big purple dragon. It came and got Donkey, Pussy Boots, and Shrek and Fiona. And they all ride on the purple dragon back to the swamp. Shrek carried Fiona inside the house. He cooked his favorite meal, his fish and his fish soup that he never got a chance to eat. He finally ate it with Fiona, and they lived happily ever after. The end.